What up, what up, what up? It's your girl, Lady Erica Lynn from Onside Kicking It. Happy Monday, you guys. I hope that you had an amazing and awesome day. I am Lady Erica Lynn, your talent, culture, and beat reporter for the Commanders, where I talk about the talent of the players, the culture of this organization, and the leadership of this franchise. And I'm here to bring you the energy and the vibes from a fan's perspective and a female's perspective. Now, I mean, today I got something special for you. We're going to talk about Mr. Daronte Jones, and the topic is less thinking, more playing. Let's kick it. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Onside Kicking It. I am your host, Lady Erica Lynn. Before we get started on the leader of this defense, I need three things: like, comment, subscribe, dog, as Cam Newton would say. Subscribe, dog. Anyway, those three things will help me. Um, I'm four away from 200. I'm super excited about this process. I'm super excited about this journey. I thank you for those who have joined me, who have subscribed and commenting and all that good stuff. So, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. So now, let's get this thing rolling because we want to talk about Mr. Daronte Jones. You know, as we continue to get ready for training camp, everybody wants to know what kind of defense is Mr. Daronte Jones going to run. Shout out to all the content creators who have broken down the defense and what they think this defense can look like. But I want to give it to you in a different way. And I'm going to talk about the leader, the teacher, Mr. Daronte Jones. But after spending so much time this weekend, I think we're asking the wrong question, like what kind of defense is going to run. I think we need to ask, who is Daronte Jones and what kind of leader is he? Because before we start talking about blitzes and coverage packages and stuff like that, Dan Quinn already told us why he hired him. And what I found out, it wasn't just football, it was his leadership. So let's talk about Mr. Daronte Jones and why Dan Quinn chose him. Because there are three things, as you can see on this graphic. The very first thing Dan Quinn praised wasn't his scheme. It was his ability to connect with players. Quinn described Jones' coaching style as remarkable, y'all. Saying he has a unique ability to build relationships and help players raise their level of play. Now, this is something to think about because he didn't just compliment Jones on his X and O's, it was the people. Great coaches don't just teach football, they convince players they're capable of more than what they thought was possible. And that makes me excited, y'all, because after you can see what you have saw in OTAs and minicamp and how the players are super excited to play and learn from this man, you can see the excitement, you can see the joy. And that was one of the things that he brought up in his original press conference, is that people wanted him to label, this type of defense, and whether it was aggressive attack, but he said he wants his players to play with joy. So when players believe in their coach, they begin believing in themselves, and that's where the confidence starts. The second thing that Dan Quinn said about Mr. Jones, as you can see on this graphic, says clarity. He creates clarity. Yo, this point really stood out to me. um, Dan Quinn said Daronte Jones creates a clear and concise learning environment. And that honestly makes sense because he was a teacher and he has a background in education. And so he's not just teaching the players the plays, he's teaching players how to understand the game, yo. And here's what really caught my attention. Our rookie, I say that again, rookie court linebacker, Sonny Style, as y'all can see on this graphic, said that this defense is super easy to understand. That's not a coincidence, y'all. That's basically confirmation. When multiple people describe the coach, a coach, the same way, you start seeing his leadership style for real. And when you think about it, if he's being coached by a leader, he's creating the confidence in Sonny Styles to be a leader himself. Great teachers don't remove confusion. And when players stop thinking, they can start reacting. Because as y'all saw last year, they weren't reacting. They was thinking too much on that field, yo. And you can see the confusion. But thank goodness that Dan Quinn has the smarts to hire somebody like this to make the defensive scheme and the plays understandable, really simple. He's breaking it down so that each player can understand how to go out there and not think, but just react. Okay, so we're gonna jump back to this graphic because this last point is a big statement from Dan Quinn. He says he empowers his players. This might be the biggest statement I've heard, from Dan Quinn. He said he wanted to be very clear with Daronte that this is his system, yo. Think about that, y'all. Dan Quinn is one of the most respected defensive minds in football, whether you like it or not, whether he's on a hot seat or not. He is respected in this league for his defensive mind and his leadership. Players love him. And what he has done for this organization and the culture change that has happened within this organization is because of Dan Quinn. Yet, y'all, he gave Daronte Jones complete ownership of this defense, even though he has a great mind for defense, but he knew that this team needed something different. That tells me that this also wasn't about hiring somebody to run his defense. Y'all saw how that happened last year, right? And then he had to end up taking over the play calling. So he's taking a big risk here hiring him, but I believe that they got it right because it's not him running Dan Quinn's defense. It was about trusting someone to build his own. That's leadership, yo. That's empowerment. If y'all can't see that, I don't know. You must be blind. You need to go get them eyes checked. Because not only is he doing it on the defensive side, he's doing it on the offensive side as well. Because who would have thought? David Blau, offensive coordinator, but we ain't here to talk about no offense. We're here to talk about defense. Let's keep focused. Daronte Jones and how he has become a leader in this defensive room. Okay, I got one more graphic for y'all because this is what I see. The more I study this coaching staff, the more I notice a pattern. We talk about this a lot in my previous videos. Adam Peters empowers his coaches. Dan Quinn empowers his coordinators. And Daronte Jones is empowering his players. Y'all know I said it before. This is not by accident, y'all. This is an organizational culture. It's about ownership, it's about accountability, and it's about creating an environment where everybody has the confidence to lead. So it starts from the top down. So you know what's going to happen when they get on that field. Everybody's going to be leading. Everybody's going to be going out there not thinking so much and just attacking and just reacting and playing some doggone defense, yo. So, enough with the graphics. I want to give it to you. So, while many others are focused on what kind of defense this is going to be, I'm paying attention to who's going to run this, because sometimes the biggest off season doesn't isn't that really, sometimes it's a player, it's a teacher. And that's what we have on that defensive side of the ball. Adam Peters empowers his coaches. Dan Quinn is empowering his offensive coordinator, his defensive coordinator. He's empowering Daronte Jones to run his own system. He's empowering him to be a leader. Yo, and then Daronte Jones is empowering Mr. Sonny Styles. And I'm just pointing out Sonny because we have other dominant players on this defense that's going to make an impact. So I truly believe that this defense is going to be something. People going to sleep and they're going to wake up and be like, whoa, where does defense come from? This is Daronte Jones' defense. The person who has been given the ability to run his own scheme, who has been given the ability to empower his players, who has given Sonny Styles an opportunity to lead this defense. This is just the beginning, yo. Because Sonny Styles gonna be here for a while, and I think he's gonna make a major impact to this defense. This defense is going to be dominant. They're gonna be able to not think, less thinking, and more attacking and more reacting. Okay? Okay. So if you enjoyed this breakdown, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Do you think Daronte Jones can help build a championship defense here in Washington? I do. I I really do. I really feel it that this defense is going to be special. I am your girl, as always, Lady Erica Lynn from Onside Kicking It. We don't play it safe over here. We onside kicking it. Once again, thank you for your love. Thank you for your comments. I appreciate each and every one of you. I am Lady Erica Lynn, your talent, culture, and beat reporter of Washington Commanders. That's it. That's all I got for you today. Remember, we don't play it safe. We onside kick it. Peace.